Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Orbital Potato, and here we check out the latest and the greatest strategy games each and every day of the week. Today we're checking out Railway Empire 2, which is a transport management, transport automation style game, Tycoon game. Anyway, let's jump into things and see what we've got going on. We can play in a variety of ways. We can also play in multiplayer if you want to. You can play with your friends. You can run competing transport companies against them. It's very, very cool indeed. Now, I think we are probably going to jump into a specific map here, just because I think it's going to be most visually interesting. We're going to be jumping into the Great Lakes in the scenario mode, which is kind of cool. And I think it's going to present quite an interesting little challenge. As ever, I'll do my very best to explain what the heck is happening, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun along the way. I do love a little bit of fun. Now, we can select from a whole bunch of different sort of characters here. I'm not particularly interested. I would like to play the main sort of character. He's got a couple of bonuses associated with him. Rolling Thunder is quite frankly not a good enough name. Potato Transport Co. Excellent. Let's do that. And my main character is going to be called Orbital Potato, just because I am that vain. What about this? Change company initials. PTC. PT sounds good. Okay, right. So there's a couple of different modifiers. All locomotives require 10% less maintenance, 20% lower costs for tracks, tunnels, and bridges, and also there's a downside. The bonus from the express trains is 5% instead of 10%. That is fine. We don't need to worry about that. Let's actually just get into the game and start playing as quickly as we possibly can. Okay.
Good to have you here.
Excellent.
As you could see in my message, I've had a promising business idea recently.
Such great news.
So far, the Great Lakes region has not been
very
developed
nice
with railroads, and it's just waiting to be conquered by us.
Indeed,
matter,
it is.
We work with our own capital.
Thank you. I appreciate the
state has promised us
I appreciate the little pep talk.
I chose the city of Grand Rapids
Yeah.
as our company headquarters.
Come on.
It has a great central position, but it's also quite remote.
Yes.
You should spread out.
Speak
as
faster. Let me skip this.
Convince the citizens of the advantages of having their own railroad network.
Okay, very cool. Happy days. Right, so we're in pause mode at the moment, or we will be in pause mode now. I'm going to explain what's on the screen first, and then we're going to immediately start building railroads, because, of course, railroads are very, very cool indeed. Okay, so we've got a task list here. Couple of different things that we need to do. Connect 120,000 citizens to your rail network. Transport 60 passengers without changing trains from Grand Rapids to Buffalo. I have no idea where Grand Rapids is in the center. Buffalo is all the way over here. That's quite a ways away. We've got London over here. Connection bonus 250k, 121 days left. Okay, we got some connection bonuses if we were to connect up those towns. Have a balance of 55,000 per week. Okay, and then there's a few optional tasks as well, which we don't really need to cover. Now, yeah, the way that this game works is it's all about connecting up routes, it's all about connecting up little communities, it's all about transporting resources, and we can do all of that. So, build your first station in your starting city. Indeed, I will do just that, video game. We will do that in just a sec. So, Grand Rapids, there's quite a lot of information that we can drill down into. This is a very sort of interesting graph here. Current delivery by train, demand per week. So this number is very, very important, and these are the sort of things that we need to think about delivering to Grand Rapids in order to make it grow. At the moment, fulfillment of demand is at 50%. If we are able to supply more goods, if we hit fulfillment of demand at 60%, then the town will start to grow, and we can build this megapolis in Grand Rapids, which I think is pretty darn cool. However, we don't really need to worry about freight quite yet, because I would like to get the sort of basics with passenger transport done. So, let's do it. Let us build a train station. We will build a train station in Grand Rapids. Let's build it like there, I think. I mean, it doesn't actually matter. The construction cost is going to be the same regardless of where I build it, which is kind of nice. We have got a very, very small station at this present moment. We can expand it. We can build a whole bunch of additional buildings, and we can add additional tracks if indeed that is what we want to do at some point in the future. I am not super bothered about that at the present moment. What the heck? Oh, it's a little road bridge. Okay, that's cool. So let's connect up a very, very simple passenger line. Get this over right about there. That is looking good. Okay, and then we literally just draw a route between them, which is very, very cool indeed. Right, so we've only got one line at the moment. I'm not particularly bothered about changing that, but we will literally just draw a line between these two places, and boom, what do you know? Oh my goodness, it's going to cost us 500k in order to build the line. That is not a problem. We are going to change that. We're going to change that very, very soon indeed. So this is a... What is this here? This is an Indian village. Okay, well, Indians currently live here. The relocated position, if you want to lay tracks in this spot right now, you'll have to recompense the inhabitants. That's not happening. I really cannot afford to do that. So instead, what we're going to do, which is very, very cool, in fact, we're going to literally set up sort of like modification points around here. And look at that. Just going around the village has already dropped the price to a much more reasonable amount. Now, inclination-wise, if we're able to sort of reduce the oh, that's a problem. If we're able to reduce the height relative to the ground, then, or keep it close to the ground, I should say. If we're able to keep it close to the ground, then that should be fine. That's down to 94k. I mean, that seems like a pretty good price for a long bit of railway. Again, we could probably do that. Slightly cheaper. I mean, that's not bad, is it? I mean, honestly, all things considered, I feel like that's a really, really, really good price. 309 kilometers. It's a pretty direct route. It's a pretty flat route. We should be okay. Let's get that built. Boom. Let's get that locked in. Happy, happy days. So, we can duel this if we want to. I don't particularly want to duel it quite yet. Although, I guess depending on like how busy it is, we could literally just duel it. What a great little feature that is, eh? That's going to cost me 220k. Why the heck is that going to cost that much? Why the heck is that going to cost that much? I feel like it really, really shouldn't. For a little doubling up, that seems like a mighty expensive amount. Oh, it's because of the extra station platforms. The actual parallel tracks don't actually cost that much. You know what? Let's not do it right now. Let's just work on getting the routes. So after we've done that, we will build a route between Grand Rapids. Happy days. We will build a route to London. Very, very simple. We connect it up. When we have a second route, a second track that will run parallel to this existing one, then we will be able to set the direction of travel on each specific track. We don't really need to worry about that quite yet. Right, what do we got here? There's a lot of different trains that we can choose from. Holy cow. So this is where we really need to think about exactly what we're going to be transporting between Grand Rapids and between London over there. Now, mixed cargo or mixed trains is good for express cargo and also freight cargo. Express cargo is literally just, that was not what I should have done, is literally just mail and passengers. Yep, I will exit that. So mail or freight, passengers, mail bags, these two are express. This is freight. So we need to make sure that we are getting the appropriate sort of train for the exact specific scenario. I think for this one, we can probably just get a... I mean, the trains all cost a different amount of money, and they've got a bunch of different stats, obviously. I think we're going to go for an express train. I don't think there's another... I like fast express trains. Let's go for the fast one here. Let's go for this one. 135k. That's good. Tractive power. This all looks good. Popularity is looking fine. One train on the route. That's fine. Special wagons. We can get this. The dining car is carried on all trains and increases ticket revenue by 25%. Mail car? Sure, let's do that. The caboose is carried on all trains and increases efficiency of all employees. No, I'm not that bothered. Let's go with that. Let's buy the train. Happy days. I know the track runs in both directions, but I haven't catered for a second direction yet. That is fine. So when I unpause, we are going to be able to get officially a train into the game, which is very, very cool indeed. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we need to sort of consider. For example, a supply tower. Each and every route. Does it show up here? I need to go to this one here. Yeah, so each and every supply route has got has got three stats, or I guess 4 stats that we need to maintain. We've got the maintenance level here, we've got the water supply, we've got the sand supply, and we've got the oil supply. These 3 can be supplied by getting a supply tower, and building a supply tower probably seems like a good idea in the middle of the route that we can benefit from that. That seems pretty good to me. So we'll get that over there. We might want to get a maintenance post. We can get a maintenance post by actually upgrading the station. Here, we can construct expansions, as I've already sort of mentioned. You know, dispatch halls. Shortens the wait time by all trains. No. A restaurant increases revenues from passengers who start or transfer at the station by 15%. Maybe that's actually like one of these things that is really, really beneficial, but I'm not going to spend the money on it right now. A whole bunch of this stuff, which is very, very cool indeed. Anyway, we don't really need to worry about it. That just kind of is what it is. Something to consider. Something to consider. Anyway, let us unpause and let's see the train spawn into glorious existence. How fantastic is that? Excellent. So, you're going to queue up over here. Oh, we got beer for London. Are we actually producing beer over here? Ha! Okay, this is very, very interesting indeed. So, yeah, Grand Rapids actually already has native beer production, which I guess it's fine that it can be run on an express train. We can always sort of specify. We can always specify what we want going on the train at a later date. I'm not particularly bothered about it right now, but we probably should have got a mixed. Mixed rail for just that reason. But that's okay. That is fine. That is fine. Either way, that train is going to diddle away. Happy, happy days. Let's see what else we can do. Let's see what else we want to get done. This brewery takes in grain and turns it into beer. So the way that this works is that there is a route. An existing road route between the Joshua Farm area over here and the brewery over here. However, if we're able to supply the brewery with a train, then it's going to be faster and it's going to be way more profitable. So that is probably something that I want to do. However, I feel like I'm not that bothered about it. Right. Yeah. Connection bonus. We get a connection bonus. I think we should go to Toledo over here. Is that how you say it? Toledo? Also, there's corn over there. Do we need corn in Grand Rapids? Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I'd like to build a train. I'd like to build a train route to Toledo. Do we need beer over here? Is beer in demand? Stock in the city, demand per week. Demand is fulfilled, but it's not going to be fulfilled for long. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we can get that over there. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff in this game that we need to consider. There is there we go. Let's go. Oh, am I still building? Yeah, delete that. Yeah, I was still going to build that old track. Whole bunch of other stuff that we need to consider. Let's get a brand new line in over here. Let's actually go into 3rd position. Because... Actually, let's go into last position here. Or yeah, over there. I feel like that's fine. Now, this is going to cost me 600,000. I mean, that is just absolutely ludicrous. What a ludicrously large cost for a route. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Right. Yeah, so already that's way cheaper. There we go. Yeah, we're going to need to clearly fix this tunnel. There we go. Again, if we can just, like... I would rather... How much are the earthworks costing me? The station platforms are costing way more than anything else. Oh, is it because I'm being charged for all of the station platforms? I feel like it is. Right. Well, you know what? Let's just pay for 2 station platforms then. That's fine. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, how much of the track's going to cost me? 34k is pretty much nothing. Okay, so we'll go and do that. We'll go and get ourselves another route as well. How much would it cost to duel that? 183,000? No, let's not do that quite yet. Let's just set up a brand new route. We'll get ourselves a new rail line. Grand Rapids, here to here. Get those 2 special wagons. Let's go. Actually, a mixed train this time. 118. Let's do it. Okay, Cool. That is looking very, very nice indeed. Bonus for new connection, 250k. That is spectacular. That's really, really good. That's the London connection. I think we should be able to expand as quickly as possible with those 250 little bonuses. That's really, really nice. Toledo, what do we got here? Have we got anything of sort of use? We got a warehouse full of meat. We got a warehouse full of meat. That's not particularly useful, but that's okay. Right, so we've explored the sort of basics of track building. I'm gonna, go to advanced track building in a second. We're gonna worry about that in just a mo. But for now, let's chat about the company stats. What can we do in this area? Well, we can have a little look at the value of our company in total. We can have a little look at the quarterly report once that rolls around. We can have a little look at our competitors, of which there is none at the moment, but I think that the competitor might decide to spawn in at some point. That's fine if they decide to do that. We can also, interestingly enough, invest in the stock market. We can trade stocks in industry or transport, whatever the heck that means. And we can gamble. We can also issue bonds. Different interest rates, different amounts of cash. That is fine. What we can also do is we can also buy shares in our competitors, which is very, very cool. If indeed a competitor decides to start up, we can challenge that. Now, if we jump into the research tech tree, we actually start this scenario with quite a lot of research already in place, but there is an extensive list of stuff that we can interact with. And if we were playing from, literally the beginning of the game, there's so much stuff. There's brand new locomotives, there's different modifiers, mass production reduces the price of new locomotives by an additional 5%. There is air brakes. Maintenance requirements in your locomotives are reduced by an additional 5%. There is so much stuff here. We get innovation points as well. That is what helps research progress. So that is definitely noteworthy. Right, we've got grain over here. We've got grain over here. Got grain over here. You know what? You know what we can do? We can deliver more beer. We can deliver more beer here if that's what we want. Also, we're delivering cloth. We're delivering cloth over here. Potato Transport Co. new record. Pacific reached 75 kilometers an hour. Wowzers, the lofty heights of 75 kilometers an hour. Right, okay, couple of things that we want to reflect on here momentarily. The condition of the locomotive is 35%. And also, we clearly do not have, in my opinion anyway, enough. That train is jumping around very funkily. We clearly do not have enough capacity on this line. We're also going to need to get additional beer production because we just simply don't have enough. So I think we're going to try and fix all of that up. What have we got coming in here? We got meat coming in here. That's fine. Okay, you know what? I think it's actually time to duel. So we can cycle through our rail lines here. We can cycle through our rail lines. No, I don't want to look at train data. I want to look at this train. Yeah, Grand Rapids to Toledo. Let's go into track construction. Let's get ourselves a second line over here. How much is that going to cost me? Not very much. 171k. That's fine. Okay, cool. Let's get that built, and then let's chat about doubling up. Let's chat about doubling up our lines, because this is where things start to get very automated and very, very cool. 183, sure, let's just do it. Right, so what we can get, or what we can build, is we can build what's called a station grid iron, which basically you put out way in front of the station, and it does the whole sort of busy business of creating a little interchange instead, which is so unbelievably sick. It's really, really cool. Really, really nice. So we'll get one of those over here, get one of those over here, and we will get one of those over here. Beautiful. And what that basically means, as I think I sort of mentioned already, how do I edit the track? It's one of these ones. Copy rail line, edit rail line. This one, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's not this one. It's one of these ones. It's one of these ones. But whatever it is, we need to be able to edit the track direction. There we go. It's that one. Okay, so what we can do is we can set the direction of the track. I guess we'll set that one to be in that direction, that one to be in that direction. And just like that, we have managed to completely automate the delivery and the sort of situation. We've managed to automate the entire operation literally just like that. So signals are going to be all along the route literally by placing these gridirons, which is unbelievably sick. Very, very cool indeed. Now what we can do is we can literally jump into here and we can say, hey, let's get 2 trains on that route. Let's get 2 trains on this route. And just like that, literally snapping our fingers, we have managed to double everything up, which is very, very cool. Multiple trains waiting to be deployed. That is fine. So over here, by the way, we are going to get ourselves Grand Rapids. We're going to construct an expansion. We're going to get a maintenance depot. Very, very important that we get that set up. That is going to allow us to specifically replenish the maintenance of the train, which is great. Now, is my... Yeah, my supply tower is working across both routes now, which is great. Did I build a supply tower over here? I can't even remember if I built a supply tower over here. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Build a supply tower over here then. Cool. Okay, I think that slowed down the train, but that's fine. Whatever the case, we need to just get more. We need to get more beer in here, really. We really, really do. So this brewery is looking good. We are getting grain. We're turning it into beer. We're at 100% utilization, which is very, very nice. And actually, I can buy this industry, which I think is honestly probably a pretty good idea. It's very, very horrifically expensive, but it's definitely something that that you can do. You can literally buy sort of like industries around the place. I honestly like the idea. I honestly like the idea of buying Joshua Farm. Let's buy it for 150k. We'll buy it for 150k. We acquire the rural business, and now let us start thinking about moving the resources in by train. Breakdown maintenance needed. Yeah, I know maintenance is needed. I built the maintenance station. There's nothing we can do about that right now. Okay, let's get a rail route. It's going to be a very, very simple rail route. Do I want to come in? I mean, 40k there. Actually, maybe I want to build like a brand new station out here. I mean, Grand Rapids is my home city. Rail length over 1,200 kilometers. Hey, that sounds like a meaningless milestone, but that's great. Right, so yeah, second station early on, pretty bold, pretty profound. But honestly, I think we're fine doing it. That's going to cost me 15k. I'm hoping that we can just get away with like one singular route. Here to here. Beautiful. Let's choose a locomotive. We're going to choose 100% freight. Yeah, so a train that is specifically designed to carry freight. This seems good to me. Let's do it. Okay, and then let's see what this is going to do for us. The production of grain has been reduced as it's reached its maximum inventory capacity. That is exactly why I wanted to get a connection up and running, because we are literally maxing this out. We're leaving profit on the table. So yeah, we're gonna move that into the brewery, and the trains are gonna move it out from there. Waiting on Grand Rapids to London. Can I do something about this? I don't think I can do anything about this, can I? I think you'd literally just have to sort of deal with it. Yeah. I don't think we can do anything about it. I think we just have to wait until it's better, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, what else can I connect up? I really want to connect other stuff up. Yeah, I tell you what, why don't we look at doing some advanced routing? I kind of like this idea. So let's get ourselves a building set up. We'll set up a building over in Toronto over here. Forget border control. That doesn't particularly matter right now. Let's get this in here. Beautiful. And then we will set up a route between Toronto and London over here. You know what? Let's just utilize the same. Let's utilize the same platform. That's fine. Right. That's already looking way better in terms of price. 93k. There's a tunnel over here, that's why. Look at that. 49. 49. It's looking not too bad. Okay, all right. We'll roll with that. That is very, very nice, in fact. Okay, so here's the dealio. What do we got? What do we got in Toronto? Nothing specifically. Export, warehouse, production. We got some meat. That's cool. That is definitely something that we need to bear in mind. However, this is where the magic starts to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we can really start to see some pretty sick sort of synergies. We get a route between Toronto and London. Fine. Let's do a mixed train. A mixed train, sure, whatever. That one seems pretty good. And then we can actually just immediately set that to go. Now, what I also want to do over here, if we go and click on the Toronto overlay, we can see passengers and mail. Where can they go? Grand Rapids to London or Grand Rapids via London, which is very, 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 very cool indeed. So what they're actually going to do is we can now deliver passengers from Toronto to London. They will change at London, and they will literally make their own way to Grand Rapids, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. And with the cost of, for the cost of basically nothing, we have achieved an extra little bonus. And you know what? We can do exactly the same with Buffalo. I am going to do it because, again, you know, I got a limited time here. I feel like maybe this is not a super great play in the grand scheme of things, but we can be bold. Let's go into here. That looks pretty good. Now, of course, we can always still this is going to be so horrifically expensive, isn't it? But that's okay. This is why we have the ability to toggle these things. Right. I mean, there's got to be a better way, video game, than crossing the river for the longest possible time. Okay, so already we're looking a lot better there. There we go. That's looking good. 320k. I mean, 320k is a lot of money, but it's a fraction of what we were dealing with earlier. Okay, good. Also, I think our maintenance has fixed itself. 306. 304. Nice. We can toggle the price of these bits. Again, we'll just have points going into the same line. Although alternatively, we could go into this area. Whatever. It's okay. Right. What's the cost? Tracks. The bridge is going to cost me an absolute arm and a leg. Holy cow, that is so expensive. Maybe there's research that I could get that would allow me to lower the price of the bridge. The bridge cannot go any lower. Literally cannot go any lower. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to get most of this price back. We're going to build it all. We're going to get most of the price back by getting the connection up and running anyway. So let's do it. Let's connect a new rail line between London, Buffalo. I have not got much money to put into a locomotive, so we're going to go for this one. That sounds good to me. Excellent, let's go. Okay, so now we've enabled connections from Buffalo, from Toronto. You're producing beer as well, so that's good to note. It's good to note. How are we doing over here? How's this route doing? You're carrying one singular grain. Demand for imported goods, meat, has been reduced because it's reached the maximum stock level. Okay, so Grand Rapids, how is Grand Rapids doing in terms of fulfillment of demand? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. How is the brewery doing? I imagine the brewery has got a pretty decent amount of... I mean, it's got a pretty decent amount of output, a pretty decent amount of input. We're still transporting the vast majority of grain around, which is fine. Anything else? We got connection bonuses that we need to think about. Demand for imported goods of beer has been reached. That is fine. That is fine. You know what we can do, actually? You know what we can do? Here's an interesting thing, ladies and gents. Here is an interesting thing indeed. We can actually build at this specific station. We click on the station here. We can build an extension, and we can build a, where is it? A warehouse. So goods can change from one train line to another, giving goods more destinations. I am going to build that. I am very, very keen to build that. However, I don't really have the money at the moment. The point is that if we're able to enable this, then we're going to be able to enable beer to be transported through London, even though there is no sort of direct route between London and, or between Grand Rapids, where we're making the beer, and Toronto over here. Small breakdown. Okay, that is something that we do need to worry about, actually. I hadn't actually considered that. The maintenance issues over there, but that is fine. Right. So, what am I What am I looking at in Toronto? I'm looking at stock demand. Yeah, beer. There is a little demand for beer, so like we might as well like capture that demand and just like sell to people right now. Also, London is probably going to be a pretty busy place, but I feel like I'm reasonably happy with how that is looking. Yeah, I mean it's looking very, very nice indeed. Looking very, very nice indeed. 19K. I mean, we're making money here. We're absolutely making money. I don't want to say we're making money hand over fist, but it kind of does actually feel like that. Right. More grain to connect up over there. A ranch over there. Let's have a little zoom out, see what else we've got going on here. I feel like, honestly, this is pretty good. Oh, we still haven't got our connection bonus yet. Oh, there we go. We just literally got our connection bonus right there. Very, very nice. Any other connection bonuses that we want to maybe consider? This is a pretty good, additional thing. Pretty good additional thing to get connected up. I mean, there's just so much. There's just so much stuff here. What haven't we talked about? Talked about the engine shed, or we talked about the trains. We haven't quite talked about personnel yet. Basically, there's a whole bunch of different personnel. Well, 5 specific personnel categories: engineer, stoker, train personnel, security, and also saboteur. Which is pretty cool. The saboteur allows you to sabotage competitors. Very, very interesting indeed. Engineers, efficiency of engineers influence maintenance needs. We can decrease the working hours, which will increase efficiency, but it'll also cost us a little bit more, I do indeed believe, because we'll need to employ more people. Alternatively, we could go the other direction. The quality of the work is going to go down. You know, that's just the reality of the situation. And we can do that with all different engineers. So you know, a quality rather than a quantity thing. That's a decision that we can make. How are we doing over here? We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I like this. We've got a mail car and we got a dining car. I mean, maybe it wasn't a super great idea to go hard into that. Fulfillment of demand is at 58.3. What else do we need? What else do we need? Passengers and mail, let's not look at that. Let's see what else we need. There is a slight demand for corn. Meat is completely satisfied. It's all in stock. Stock is in the city, obviously, of beer. Cloth is in the city. We need sugar, and we also need lumber and corn if we can get it. What's that? Scott Farm? I tell you what, corn is over here. Why don't we get that set up? We can get that set up, like, right now. I'll build it right on the outskirts so that we can keep the costs down. And what we could do is we could literally go right in through Joshua Station over here. I don't think that that's something that I particularly want to do. I think we probably just want to go straight into here, right? Yeah, how much is that going to cost me? 59K? I mean, we could probably get a slightly cheaper price on that. If I, redo this bit. Cool. Whatever. You know what? At the end of the day, it's not going to make that much of a difference. We're just building single tracks here. Grand Rapids. We'll choose a freight train, and we can get to work there. Okay, so that is going to supply corn. And actually, I think that's going to be enough. We're also going to get that lovely little connection bonus as well, which I am very, very here for, as they say. How's Toledo looking? Toledo's not looking too bad. Anything else that we could really get in Toledo? Issues with production. There is meat nearby, and the meat is not being transported. So we could always transport some meat. That seems like a great little hustle, as they say. Lovely. I just love how quickly you can just get stuff. I just love how quickly you can get stuff together. I mean, look at that. Boom, boom. Freight train, boom. That's it. That is literally a route. That is literally a route. What an unbelievably sick thing to be able to do. Very, very cool, in fact. Yeah, so it's less about signals, more about connections, more about, you know, making sure that everything actually works. Grand Rapids, by the way, looks like by getting that little delivery of corn, we have managed to kick Grand Rapids into the next gear. Result of quarter 1, 1900 Yes, I would like to open the quarterly report, please. I mean, this is their first valuation, so that's pretty good. We made an absolute huge amount of money. Most of it was from bonuses. However, look at that. Freight, passengers, like, we're making money. Expenses, it doesn't even come close. It absolutely doesn't even come close to what we were able to accomplish. I want to know how much we are making from... Yeah, so I think this figure, the 18,000 production figure, I think that is probably thanks to our investment.
I must confess, I will probably never tire of the lovely sounds of
Me
ringing
neither.
cash registers.
Me neither. I think that production bonus, or I think that production figure is coming from owning the farm, which I think is pretty cool. What did I accomplish? Have a balance of 55k per week. That's not too bad. That is not too bad. Transport 60 passengers without changing trains from Grand Rapids to Buffalo. I mean, is that even possible? Where is that? Oh, it's over here. I mean, it is actually, like, very, very doable for us to do. New rail line here to here. We would have to, like, probably investigate the idea of putting in a parallel track, at least for, like, some section of this area. There we go. Boom. So we can do that. We can change the track direction. Perfect. And that will, like, legitimately allow this to work, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So we can go here to here. We can say loading express cargo only. We will say dining revenue and mail car. We will enable that. And we will say you want to be an express train. We will have one train on the routes. And we will say away you go. So it's quite literally that simple to make the sort of specifications on, you know, what it is specifically that we need to get, where we want to get it going to. It just kind of all comes together in a really, really nice package. Railway Empire 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is good. Look at that. Fulfillment of demand is now at 72%. Oh, my lordy. This feels so unbelievably good. So, yeah, I think we've pretty much talked about everything. I've not really talked about the flow of goods. We can sort of see exactly where it is that the goods are going, where they need to go to. I mean, meat, for example, we can have a little look at the specific meat interface. We can see where the meat is going. We can see where it's being dragged. I could get a... Again, I could get warehouses in all of these different places and sort of change the goods. Oh, did I build the warehouse here? I didn't build the warehouse here, but I can build the warehouse right here. We build the warehouse here, and then we can actually click on this button here, and we can say, what goods do I want to be stored at this specific warehouse? Let's say beer especially. So that means that beer can now be transported to London, stored in the warehouse, and then moved between London and wherever the beer is needed, which probably Toronto, I guess, because Buffalo has already got its own little beer sort of production facility. So we might end up getting beer from Buffalo coming to London and then up to Toronto. It doesn't particularly matter. Well, I suppose it kind of does matter because Grand Rapids is, you know, my hometown, and I want to make sure that it grows as much as possible. Look at that. We actually grew it to a second pip. We have just crossed a population threshold. From 40,000 inhabitants, 2 industries allowed. From 90,000, 3 are allowed, which is pretty darn sick. I like that a lot. Slow due to missing, supplies. I did kind of forget about that. It's also not necessarily a super big deal. We can also engineer prevents disaster. Locomotive crashes into freight train. It's not mine, though. It's not mine, so I don't particularly care. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that. The brewery would now cost 900,000 to buy, and it was only going to be 600,000 because we're pumping out beer. We're moving it exactly where it needs to go. Again, it's like you're not going to make $1 million from from production, as we sort of saw from producing all of this grain. It still needs to go somewhere, but for this specific instance, it probably would have been worth us to build the brewery, to buy the brewery, because even though it's a large upfront cost, it will end up paying dividends at some point in the future, which is very, 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 very cool indeed. So I kind of love that. You can also just buy your own factories. Say we wanted to, I don't actually think, we can build another thing in this city quite yet, but if we wanted to build a factory in a specific area, we could do that. Don't think we can do it here either. But you get the picture. We can buy factories when we hit certain population thresholds. Definitely something for us to consider. But actually, ladies and gents, I think we're going to wrap that up right about now. Railway Empire 2, is good. And this is not even multiplayer. And I think, honestly, you will have a blast with your friends if you're interested in, you know, transporting goods, automating goods, competing, sabotaging. I mean, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. 2 thumbs up from me. Give it a look. Give it a look. Railway Empire 2. It's out now, I do indeed believe. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, folks. Do indeed consider supporting on the Patreon if you like this video and you want to help make videos like this possible. But for now, and for me, my name has been Orbital Potato. I'll see you next time. Bye.